The Senate will come to order. Senator Cook.
Thank you, Mr. President. Would everybody in the gallery and in the chamber join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Majors, please call the roll.
Senators Aguilar, Balmer, Baumgardner, Carroll, Cook, Crowder, Donovan, Garcia, Grantham, Guzman, Heath, Hill, Hodge, Holbert, John, Johnston, Johnston,
Absent.
Jones, Kafalis, Kerr, Lambert, Lundberg, Marble, Martinez Jimenez, Merrifield, Neville, Newell, Roberts, Scheffel, Scott, Sonnenberg, Stedman, Todd, Ulibarri, Woods, Johnston. Mr. President.
Here, with 35 present, 0 absent, 0 excused, we have a quorum. Senator Merrifield.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the reading of the Journal of April 8th be dispensed with and the journal be approved as corrected by the Secretary.
You have heard the motion. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. The motion is approved. The journal is adopted. Committee reports.
April 8, 2015, Committee on Agriculture, Natural Resources, and Energy. After consideration of the merits, the committee recommends the following Senate Joint Resolution 21 be amended as follows and as so amended be referred to the Senate for final action. April 8, 2015, Committee on Judiciary. After consideration of the merits, the committee recommends the following Senate Bill 181 be amended as follows and as so amended be referred to the Committee on Appropriations with favorable recommendation. April 8, 2015, Committee on Judiciary. After consideration of the merits, the committee recommends the following Senate Bill 185 be amended as follows and as so amended be referred to the Committee on Appropriations with favorable recommendation. April 8, 2015, Committee on Judiciary. After consideration of the merits, committee recommends the following House Bill 1131 be amended as follows and as so amended before the Committee on Appropriations favorable recommendation. April 8, 2015, Committee on Judiciary. After consideration of the merits, committee recommends the following House Bill 1149 be referred favorably to the Committee on Appropriations. April 8, 2015, Committee on Judiciary. After consideration of the merits, committee recommends the following House Bill 1218 be referred to committee whole favorable recommendation. April 8, 2015, Committee on Business, Labor, and Technology. After consideration of the merits, committee recommends the following House Bill 1147 be postponed indefinitely. April 8, 2015, Committee on Business, Labor, and Technology. After consideration of the merits, committee recommends the following House Bill 1255 be referred to committee whole favorable recommendation with the recommendation be placed on the consent calendar. April 8, 2015, Committee on State Veterans and Military Affairs. After consideration of the merits, committee recommends the following House Bill 1175 be postponed indefinitely. April 8, 2015, Mr. President, the Committee on State Veterans and Military Affairs decided on consideration inside a hearing on the following appointment and recommends that the appointment be placed on the consent calendar and confirmed. Member of the Colorado Channel Authority Board of Directors for a term expiring October 6, 2015, Scott Allen Knocktree of Highland Ranch, Colorado, a Republican to serve as a representative who has experience in the business operations of broadcast journalism and occasioned by the resignation of John W. Montgomery of Centennial, Colorado, appointed. April 8, 2015, Committee on State Veterans and Military Affairs. After consideration of the merits, committee recommends the following House Bill 1240 be postponed indefinitely.
Senate Services.
April 9th, 2015, quickly printed, Senate Concurrent Resolution 2, correctly engrossed, Senate Joint Resolution 22, correctly re-engrossed, Senate Bill 204, correctly re-revised, House Bill 1095.
General Orders, second reading of bills. Senator Lundberg.
Thank you, Mr. President. itself into the Committee of the Whole for the consideration of the general orders, second reading of bills, calendar.
You have heard the motion. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The Senate will resolve itself into the Committee of the Whole for the consideration of general orders, second reading of bills. Senator Lundberg will take the chair.
The committee will now come to order, and the court rule is relaxed. Mr. Majors, would you please read the title to Senate Bill 91?
Senate Bill 91 by Senator Scott concerning a reduction in the statutory limitation period applicable to legal actions for construction defects on improvements to real property.
Senator Scott.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And thank you, the good senator from Aurora, for giving me a chuckle. Members, this bill was designed to try to eliminate some of the problems we're having with construction defects, insurance, and claims that are going on around the state of Colorado. What we did in our, I guess I have to move the committee
Senator
report.
Scott, if you could move the bill and to the committee report.
Sorry about that. It just dawned on me. I need to move Senate Bill 091 and the committee report.
To the committee report.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Sorry about that. I was talking to the committee report. What we've learned in the state of Colorado after several years of problems is that builders are being put under undue pressure to resolve problems that are not necessarily problems of their own doing. We cannot protect from acts of God. We cannot protect ourselves from many of the issues that have been developed through the insurance industry because of past legislation. And we're trying to come up with ways to ensure people can have, I guess there's a new term out there, attainable housing, along with affordable housing. And we can't do that until we start to correct some of these issues and some of these problems. The bill was brought because the Judicial Department was very clear that most of the filings for construction defects happen within the first 3 years. They do not happen 8 years down the road, and this bill fixes that problem. Good bill, vote yes. Thank you very much.
Senator Jones.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Well, to understand this amendment, you need to understand the bill and understand the terms involved. Statute of repose is when you find a problem with your house. That's the time frame it's for the finding of the problem, and then the statute of limitation is once you find the problem, how much time you have to fix it. That's the statute of limitations. Nationally, the statute of repose is around 10 years. And in fact, Colorado was at 10 years not long ago. Now it is at 6 years for the statute of repose and 2 years for the statute of limitations. Again, we were at 10 years not long ago. This is for somebody to find a problem, a defect in their home, a mistake in their home, and to get it fixed. This is about regular Coloradans being able to live in a mistake-free house, a non-defective house, ones that don't leak, the foundations don't crack, so they can get it repaired. That's what this is all about. So it's 6 and 2 now. 6 years statute of repose, 2 years statute of limitations.
Senator Jones, you are to the committee report, correct?
That's correct, Mr. Chair. That's where you've got to understand the frame to understand what's being changed. The original bill had it at 2 years and 1 year to get it fixed, 2 years for the statute of repose, 1 for the statute of limitations. The amendment narrows it down to single-family homes, so not condominiums, and changes it to 3 years for a statute of repose and 1 year for the statute of limitations. And the reason this is important, we can compare it to other states. And the other states that have this, I think we would have been dead last in the nation, and this will make us tied for second worst in the nation as far as time to fix your single-family home. And the reason that's important is when you find something leaks, you have a rainy year or something in the 4th year or the 5th year, or even the 6th year, you still want to get your house fixed. You can't under this bill. This takes people's ability to move into a house, people who've saved, have finally gotten into a home, and they find the home has defects in it, construction defects that should have been found, gives them the ability to fix their house. This makes it harder for them to do it. It makes it impossible for them to do it after 3 years on a single-family home. And then it gives them only 1 year on the statute of limitations to get it done. This is bad for middle-class Coloradans. This is bad for regular people who finally get into a home and move into a home that's defective. And because of that, we should be voting no on the amendment and on the bill, because even the amendment, while it makes it better, is very bad for regular people. I want you to think about moving into a home with your family and say your kid's room's window starts to leak and it keeps going on and you get mold issues. And then you come back in and you say, hey, I want to fix this house. And they'll say, sorry, this is year 4. Even though the builder should have done this right, this is year 4 and you can't get your house fixed. What do you tell your kid? What do you tell your son or daughter? Sorry, we can't get your house fixed or your room fixed. We're going to have to pay for it. We don't have the money to do that. We're going to have to cut something else out of our budget. So this amendment and the bill itself, the amendment makes it a little bit better, but it's tied for second worst in the nation. This makes it harder for regular people to fix their homes. That's just not right. I'd ask for a no vote on the amendment and on the bill.
Is there any further discussion to the committee report? If seeing none, the motion before the body is the adoption of the State Veteran and Military Affairs Committee report. All in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. No. The ayes have it, and the report is adopted. Senator Scott.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Members, good bill. Vote yes. It's time to make some changes in Colorado and do the right thing for the people of the state of Colorado so they can have affordable housing.
Senator Martinez-Humanek.
Colleagues, I'd just like you to keep in mind, in my own neighborhood, when we still had the statute at 10 years, we had 5 homes in our development that the day after the 10-year period had occurred, these folks had actually been trying to work with our city to see what they could do about cracked foundations. And the foundations were not just small cracks. Many of them were very large cracks, and some of the homes had permanent floors in them. Other floors were floating floors. It took over a year of working with the city and the home builder trying to get those things remedied. And so we do need to make sure that people do have some kind of remedy in place when there is a structural defect, especially like a foundation. And I worked with those homeowners, and I know the struggles they went through. And fortunately, I was not one of them that experienced that. But it was not a pleasant process to go through, and it was a lengthy process to go through. But fortunately, the home builder did end up coming through and going in and re-pouring those foundations, which, as you can imagine, was not an easy task, and it would probably cost a lot of money. But without that, the homeowners would not have had any restitution. So I would just ask you to keep that in mind as well.
Senator Jones.
Again, I'd ask for a no vote. If you want the ability for regular people to fix their house after 3 years, their single-family home, now that this bill's amended, if you want them to be able to fix their house and not be out of pocket a lot of money for something that they didn't cause, you would vote no on this bill. This is putting middle-class families at a big disadvantage. My checking of the evidence about this being the cause of affordable housing is it's just not there. There's a lot of rhetoric, a lot of anecdotes, but it's not there. So regular people need us here. And so I'd ask for a no vote.
Senator Neville.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Well, I would urge an aye vote on this, and I can tell you that the cost that is added to those that are in the construction industry from the cost of trying to get insurance, if they can actually even get insurance, and actually we have a number of carriers who have actually backed off of any new construction. We've seen that problem, and it actually does increase the cost of those people that are actually trying to make a living in the construction industry. So I would urge an aye vote on that side. And I also want to point out, if we have a problem or a question regarding new construction, I think we need to hold our local governments accountable on the side of the inspections. If we're not inspecting these correctly, then I would urge my constituents to take a look at that and urge their local governments and those entities that are actually providing inspections to provide better inspections. So I urge an aye vote on this.
Senator Heath.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I spent 20 years of my career in the building industry and with a building materials supplier. And we spent all of our time basically making certain that our products were used correctly and that they were installed and built correctly. And with that, we stood behind our products. This notion that the city should be responsible for inspecting, sure, we have all kinds of rules and regulations as to how things should be done. But frankly, it is the person that builds it that should be held responsible, not the city. And if you don't build in quality into your products, then you deserve to be held responsible. And this notion that this bill is good for the people, when we are basically limiting their rights dramatically, I have a hard time getting to. That makes no sense to me at all. We're basically taking someone's undoubtedly the biggest investment they're going to make in their whole life and basically limiting the time frame from which they can go out and claim something that is defective with their home. We're not arguing here whether it's defective or not. This is all about when we have found something that is defective and who is responsible for it. And if that builder is any good, they are going to build a quality home. And to think that this bill is going to help the average citizen out there, the average constituent that we're here to support, the thought that this bill is helping them, I have to object to dramatically. I would urge a no vote on this bill as being anti-homeowner, anti-constituent of ours.
Is there further discussion on Senate Bill 91? Seeing none, the motion before the body is the adoption of Senate Bill 91. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. No. The ayes have it. And Senate Bill 91 is passed. Senator Sheffel. Mr. Majors, would you please read the title to Senate Bill 209?
Senate Bill 209 by Senator Balmer and Representative Williams concerning amendment to the specified statutes governing the management of the financial affairs of a unit owners association under the Colorado Common Interest Ownership Act so as to exempt communities in which a majority of units designated for residential use or timeshare units.
Majority Leader Shuffle.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move that the committee lay over Senate Bill 209 till April 10.
The motion before us is to lay over Senate Bill 209 to April 10. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. The motion is passed. Senate Bill 209 will be laid over until April 10. Mr. Majors, please read the title to House Bill 1042.
House Bill 1042 by Representative Foote and Senator Cook concerning requiring pre-sentence reports to include a statement concerning defendant's eligibility for release from incarceration.
Senator Cook.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move House Bill 1042, and there are no committee reports.
Very good, Senator Cook. Please proceed.
Okay. 1042 is a probation pre-sentencing report. Right now, probation is required to do pre-sentencing report, include information about substance abuse, family background, educational, employment record, past criminal history, etc. Well, this bill adds a portion to the pre-sentencing report that lets victims know that an offender that gets sentenced to DOC will not serve his or her complete sentence. Most victims realize that if somebody gets sentenced to 20 years, for example, they're not going to do full 20 years, but they don't realize how little time they will receive. So in the pre-sentencing report, the probation officer must put in there that an offender who gets sentenced to DOC will serve automatically 50 or 75%, depending if it's on a crime of violence, percent of their sentence. And there will also be earned time and good time. So basically, it's just an information item for the victims, for the prosecutor, for the judge, so that they realize the offender will not be serving their entire time. And again, it's a transparency issue for the victims, so they will know that the offender that gets sentenced to DOC will not be doing their time, and then also there's a possibility that the offender could be sentenced to community corrections. So I move, again, House Bill 1042 and ask for an aye vote.
Thank you, Senator Cook. Is there further discussion concerning House Bill 1042? Seeing none, the motion before us is the adoption of House Bill 1042. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. House Bill 1042 is adopted. Mr. Majors, please read the title to House Bill 1212.
House Bill 1212 by Representative Becker Kay and Senators Kerr and Merrifield concerning making permanent the State Board of Land Commissioners' authority to sell state trust land to local governments.
Senator Kerr.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We move House Bill 1212 on second reading and ask for your support.
Senator.
And
Thank you.
the State Veterans and Military Affairs Committee report.
Very good. To the committee report.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The committee report amended the repeal date of the sunset. We ask and we very much appreciate the first senator for bringing this amendment in State Affairs and working with us on it. We ask for its adoption.
Is there further discussion on the committee report? Seeing none, the motion before the body is the adoption of the State Veterans and Military Affairs Committee report. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. The committee report is adopted. To the bill, Senator Merrifield.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just very briefly, this is an excellent program that was begun about 5 years ago. I was honored to have the opportunity to carry the legislation that originally created this program, where communities, cities, and counties could purchase state trust lands for use as open space, parks, etc. For those of you in the El Paso County area, realize that that was used very advantageously to purchase all the backdrop, the Section 16 and Red Rocks Canyon area to the west of town. It's been used in a number of towns or places around the state. This is an opportunity to continue this program, which is shown to be very positive for communities, for another 5 years.
Is there further discussion? Senator Sonnenberg.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members. This is indeed a program in which has proved to be beneficial. The questions has been raised, can we do that? Can we sell that land to private landowners? We can already do that. State Land Board has the ability to do that. What this does is allows us to continue a program to make sure that we can either utilize trades or sell to local governments to help benefit them. But with the amendment we put on in State Affairs, it actually has a sunset again. We'll review it again in 5 years, and I think that's appropriate. That's why I asked for a yes vote on this bill.
Is there further discussion? Seeing none, the question before us is the adoption of House Bill 1212. All those in... Senator Crowder.
I'm just for a point of information, is there oversight on this commission? Does the commission have the final say on what, if the land can be sold, or is there a higher level of executive power that would oversight on this? And my concern is if it ever gets into a situation where farm ground would be the subject. You know, let's say you have some farm ground that is productive and it's being leased out for an individual for a period of time, and there's a situation come about that they can make this open space. And would they pull that land out of production after it's already leased out to this farmer for the purpose of open space?
Senator,
has it ever happened?
Senator Merrifield.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. It has never happened. It's always been open land that's not being used, and it's overseen by the state land board. Is the committee that makes those decisions. So it's not one individual. It's available for appeal and discussion.
Okay, thank you.
Senator Kerr.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And just to reiterate, this is the Board of State Land Trusts doing this with a local government. So the local government, of course, will have oversight as well, and will be connected to the local farmers and ranchers and everything. So ask for your aye vote.
Is there further discussion? Senator Neville.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I have a question for the bill sponsor regarding the actual sale and then the accreditation of those dollars. Is that put in a long-term fund or a short-term spending fund under the State Land Board that goes back to education?
Senator Kerr.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. That's an excellent question. I'd be happy to assist the good senator from unincorporated Jefferson County in getting that information from the State Land Board.
Is there further discussion? Seeing none, the motion before the body is the adoption of House Bill 1212. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. House Bill 1212 is adopted. Majority Leader Shuffle.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move the committee rise and report.
The motion before the body is to rise and report. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the committee will rise and report.
The Senate will come back to order. Senator Lundberg.
Thank you, Mr. President. The committee has met and had a number of bills under consideration. Mr. Majors, would you please read the report?
April 9, 2015, Mr. President, your committee, the whole page reports that under consideration the following tax bills being second reading thereof makes following recommendations thereon. Senate Bill 91 is amended, passed on second reading in order to gross place the counter for third reading and final passage. House Bill 1042, House Bill 1212 is amended, passed on second reading in order to revise place the counter for third reading and final passage. Senate Bill 209 laid over until April 10, 2015, retaining its place on the calendar.
Senator Lundberg.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for the adoption of the report.
Senator Stedman.
Thank you, Mr. President. Pursuant to Senate Rule 25F, I request a roll call vote on Senate Bill 91.
Mr. Majors, please poll the senators.
Senators Aguilar. Aguilar, no. Balmer. Balmer, aye. Baumgartner. Baumgartner, aye. Carroll. Carroll, no. Cook. Cook, aye. Crowder. Crowder, aye. Donovan. Donovan, no. Garcia. Garcia, no. Grantham. Grantham, aye. Guzman. Guzman, no. Heath. Heath, no. Hill. Hill, no. Hodge. Hodge, no. Holbert. Holbert, aye. John. John, no. Johnston. Johnston, no. Jones. Jones, no. Kafalis. Kafalis, no. Kerr. Kerr, no. Lambert. Lambert, aye. Lundberg. Lundberg, aye. Marble. Marble, aye. Martinez Humenic. Martinez Humenic, aye. Merrifield. Merrifield, no. Neville. Neville, aye. Newell. Newell, no. Roberts. Roberts, aye. Sheffel. Sheffel, aye. Scott. Scott, aye. Sonnenberg. Sonnenberg, aye. Stedman. Stedman, no. Todd. Todd, no. Ulibarri. Ulibarri, no. Woods. Woods, aye. Mr. President.
Aye. Mr. Majors, would you please confirm the ayes? If you are not confirmed as you wish to vote, please let us know. Mr. Majors, please confirm the ayes.
I votes as Senators Balmer, Baumgartner, Cook, Crowder, Grantham, Holbert, Lambert, Lundberg, Marble, Martinez Humenic, Neville, Roberts, Sheffel, Scott, Sonnenberg, Woods, and Mr. President.
Senator Hill.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I request to be an aye vote.
Senator Hill will be recorded as an aye vote. With 18 ayes, 17 noes, 0 absent, 0 excuse, Senate Bill 91 is adopted. On second reading, to the committee report.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for readoption of the committee report.
So we are on the adoption of the report. Having confirmed the ayes on Senate Bill 91, the motion before the body is the adoption of the report of the Committee of the Whole. Is there further discussion on the report? Seeing none, are there any no votes? With 35 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, the Committee of the Whole report is adopted. Senate Bill 91 as amended passed on second reading and ordered engrossed and placed on the calendar for third reading and final passage. House Bill 1042, House Bill 1212 as amended passed on second reading and ordered revised and placed on the calendar for third reading and final passage. Senate Bill 209 laid over until April 10th and retaining its place on the calendar. Consideration of House amendments to Senate bills. Majority Leader Sheffel.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the Senate lay over consideration of House amendments to Senate bills, which include Senate Bill 110 and Senate Bill 211 to April 10.
You have heard the motion. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Consideration of House amendments to Senate bills, including Senate Bill 110 and Senate Bill 211, will lay over until April 10th. Consideration of conference committee reports. Mr. Majors. Please read House Bill, the title to House Bill 1072.
House Bill 1072 by Representative Fields and Senator Newell concerning harassment through an interactive electronic medium.
Senator Newell.
Thank you, Mr. President. In the conference committee of House Bill 1072, we kept in what we did here in the Senate and then added 2 words, which so that section would say, "This section is not intended to infringe upon any right guaranteed to any person by the First Amendment to the United States Constitution or to prevent the constitutionally protected expression of any religious, political, or philosophical views. And then it came out unanimously from the conference committee.
Senator Newell, would you please add 2 more words, the magic 2 words?
I move House Bill 1072.
No, Senator Newell, that is not. We need to adopt
Oh, hello.
the report.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that we adopt the conference committee report on House Bill 1072.
Now that's magic. Is there further discussion on the motion? Are there any no votes? With 35 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, the Senate adopts the report of the Conference Committee on House Bill 1072. Senator Newell.
Thank you, Mr. President. And now I move again House Bill 1072 and ask for an aye vote.
Is there further discussion? Are there any no votes? Senator Neville, Senator Lambert, Senator Baumgardner, Senator Hill, Senator Woods, Senator Scheffel, Senator Scott, Senator Marble, Senator Sonnenberg, Senator Lundberg, Senator Grantham, with 24 ayes, 11 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, House Bill 1072 is re-adopted. Co-sponsors: Senator Kafalis, Mr. Majors, please read the title to House Bill 1204.
House Bill 1204 by Representative Pabon and Senator Kerr concerning the creation of a distillery pub license.
Senator Kerr.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for the adoption of the first report of the first conference committee on House Bill 1204.
Continue.
Thank you, Mr. President. The important part of this conference committee is right in the middle, that it says that the House accede to the Senate amendment made to the bill. Within that, we actually reversed our amendment made in committee and put the safety clause back in. After this bill had become public and it became obvious that there are folks who are ready, willing, and able to set up these distillery pubs sooner than next fall, and so we wanted to make sure that we were ready to allow that. And with that, I ask for your yes vote.
Is there further discussion? Senator Sonnenberg.
Thank you, Mr. President. And although I'm supportive of the brew pubs, the inability for the public to petition its government by utilizing the safety clause is a reason I will be voting no.
Is there further discussion? Senator Neville.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm also in support of the bill, but general welfare, health, and safety of our state so we can brew alcohol quicker without any impact or any conversation that the public might have, I don't think so. So I'll be a no on the revised, and I do support the bill.
Is there further discussion? Seeing none, the motion before us is the adoption of the first report of the first conference committee on House Bill 1204. Are there any no votes on that report? Senator Lambert, Senator Sonnenberg, Senator Neville, Senator Lundberg, Senator Cook, Senator Baumgardner, Senator Scott, Senator Marble, Senator Balmer, Senator Hill, Senator Johnston, Senator Johnston is confirmed as a no. Senator Johnston will be a yes. If you raise your hand during an auction or during a vote, it counts. With 25 ayes, 10 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, the report of the First Conference Committee is adopted. Senator Kerr.
Thank you, Mr. President. I ask for the readoption of House Bill 1204.
The motion before us is the readoption of House Bill 1204. Is there further discussion? Are there any no votes? With 35 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, House Bill 1204 is readopted. Co-sponsors. Senator Johnston. Senator Kafalis. Senator Woods. Senator Jones. Senator Heath. Senator Holbert. Senator Roberts. Senator Hill. Senator Neville. Signing of bills.
April 8, 2015, the President signed Senate Joint Resolutions 8, 14, and 20.
Message from the Governor.
February 9, 2015, to the Honorable Colorado Senate. Ladies and gentlemen, pursuant to the powers conferred upon me by the Constitution and laws of the State of Colorado, I have the honor to designate, appoint, and submit to consideration the following. That the appointment of Shaylin Provin Bott, pursuant to Executive Order A 2015-37, is amended as follows. That the following named person be, and he is hereby appointed as Executive Director of the Department of Transportation, effective February 9, 2015, for a term expiring at the pleasure of the Governor, Shaylin Provin Bott of Middletown, Delaware, and occasioned by the resignation of Donald E. Hunt of Denver, Colorado, appointed. Sincerely, John W. Hickenlooper, Governor.
The Governor's appointment for the Executive Director of the Department of Transportation is assigned to the Committee on Transportation. Committee reports.
April 8, 2015, Committee on Health and Human Services. After consideration of the Mayor's Committee recommends the following. Senate Bill 256 be referred favorably to the Committee on Appropriations. April 8, 2015, Committee on Health and Human Services. After consideration of the Mayor's Committee recommends the following. House Bill 1242 be amended as follows, and as so amended before the Committee of the Whole with favorable recommendation. April 8, 2015, Committee on Health and Human Services. After consideration of the Mayor's Committee recommends the following. House Bill 1239 be referred favorably to the Committee on State Veterans and Military Affairs. April 8, 2015, Committee on Education. After consideration of the Mayor's Committee recommends the following. House Bill 1294 be referred to the Committee of the Whole with favorable recommendation with the recommendation be placed on the consent calendar. April 8, 2015, Committee on Education. After consideration of the Mayor's Committee recommends the following. House Bill 1295 be referred to the Committee of the Whole with favorable recommendation with the recommendation be placed on the consent calendar.
Announcements. Senator Holbert.
Thank you, Mr. President. I ask for a moment of personal privilege.
Granted.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members, 150 years ago today, General Robert E. Lee rode to Appomattox Courthouse and surrendered to General Ulysses S. Grant. Some estimate that some 700,000 people gave their lives in the Civil War. The most commonly pointed to statistic is 620,000 people. Today is the 150th anniversary, the sesquicentennial of that important day in the history of our nation. And I would ask that we take a moment of silence to remember those who gave their lives in that greatest struggle, so that we would still have these United States. After the war, it became the United States. So I ask for a moment of silence to remember those 620,000 souls.
Senator Holbert, thank you for bringing that to the attention of the Senate. The Senate will stand in a moment of silence, and we will ring the chimes in honor of those who served. Thank you, colleagues. Senator Holbert.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members, as you have school groups or friends visit you at the Capitol, please take time to visit the Civil War Memorial on the West Steps. There's a statistic that some may know, many don't. The Colorado Territory was established in 1861, the same year that the war began, that President Lincoln took office. And the memorial on the west side of the Capitol commemorates the fact that the territory of Colorado sent a higher percentage of our population than any state. And we have great ties to that conflict. If you have an opportunity to visit Southwest Douglas County, stop by Bear Canyon Cemetery and visit some of the graves, family members of people who came to the Colorado Territory, turned around and went and fought Union and Confederate. The tombstones, the grave markers are there, Union and Confederate, right next to each other. There is great history, and I invite you to visit my home county to experience that. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senator Holbert. Senator Kafalis.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good morning, colleagues. I wish to bring to your attention a flyer that was placed on your desk regarding a legislative meet and greet tomorrow morning, Friday, 7:30 to 9:30, in front of the old Supreme Court chambers. You are invited to join us for an informal gathering of Clubhouse members, consumers, and staff colleagues to learn about the mission of Clubhouse Colorado. They will be providing us with information about the positive outcomes for employment, education, and social support of individuals managing the effects of mental health disorders and addictions. That's tomorrow morning. It's starting at 7:30 outside the old Supreme Court chambers. Thank you, colleagues, for listening.
Senator Grantham.
Thank you, Mr. President. Appropriations Committee members, we have a very busy morning tomorrow morning. Be there 7:30. We'll get started. We have a total of 36 bills that we will be hearing tomorrow morning. It should be relatively quick. There are 4 additional bills that are not in your stack right now, and I will list them for you because they will be on the calendar tomorrow. House Bill 1149, Senate Bill 181, Senate Bill 185, and Senate Bill 256. Again, that's House Bill 1149, Senate Bill 181, Senate Bill 185, and Senate Bill 256. Please go ahead and pull those out as well for tomorrow morning. We will get started at 7:30 sharp, and we anticipate being done in time for a on-time start here in the floor. Thank you. See you tomorrow morning.
Additional announcements. Majority Leader Scheffel. Majority Leader Scheffel.
Thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues, we are going to leave the desk open to bring over to read some new bills over. So with that, move the Senate recess until 11 a.m. today.
You have heard the motion. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The Senate will recess until 11 a.m.